Hello there, welcome to the channel. This is Nerd.World, and this is another Star Trek episode. I know, shocking. Today we're looking at the cellular regeneration and entertainment device created by a human scientist, and my speculation about who this scientist was and what he was actually doing on Deep Space Nine, which is just a fun theory to put at the end of it. Before we get started, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you want to. Tell me what you think of it. Do you remember the episode? It's a Deep Space Nine episode called In the Cards. Not one of the best episodes, but definitely an interesting one. It's a very Jake, Sisko and Nog heavy episode, so do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know. With that said, let's get started. The origins of this device are with a set of theories devised by a scientist called Dr. Bathkin from Andros 3. He came up with the idea that death was avoidable, that the only reason someone dies of old age basically is because of cellular boredom. Basically, he believed that the cells got bored of the monotony of the repetitive nature of their existence. Metabolize, divide over and over and over again. So he came up with this idea that with a device that could entertain and energize the cells and teach them new mitochondrial tricks. Unfortunately, Dr. Bathkin died in 2359 in a shuttle accident, but his work was continued by a Dr. Geiger. Geiger was enthusiastic about the research as he clearly had a major fear of death, and he was looking for a way to avoid it, to extend life if not make it literal immortality. And he built the cellular entertainment device, a sort of large coffin-like chamber that you get in, spend a few hours in, and it energizes your cells. Whether or not these effects were completely psychosomatic or were actually doing something is really left to your own imagination. I imagine most of it was just he felt better after being in it. It could have been giving him some kind of endorphin boost or something, but basically it probably wasn't working. The theory was basically dismissed by any reputable scientist within the Federation as being ridiculous. But Geiger, as I said, enthusiastically went for this research, and he demonstrated it to Jake, Sisko and Nog, and later even to the Dominion, specifically to the Vorta ambassador Weyoun. Now that brings me to my little sort of side theory about this guy. We know that by this point, in fact earlier, Section 31 had become increasingly interested in the Dominion. Now this scientist being a little bit eccentric, it's believable. He could have been just bonkers, and the Dominion maybe Weyoun was just passively interested. But Section 31 might have been able to notice that. Now this device superficially was doing nothing, but just imagine at this point the Federation had never had the opportunity to do like a detailed examination of a Jem'Hadar or a Vorta, certainly not a live one. Now imagine for a moment this chamber wasn't just entertaining your cells. Imagine it was doing some kind of deep genetic analysis instead. It was basically a gigantic medical tricorder doing a huge CT scan of Weyoun when he gets inside of it. Geiger was there to do nothing more than entice the Dominion into taking the device and allowed it to be used on Jem'Hadar and Vorta, and perhaps allow Section 31 to gather critical intelligence. Just imagine how useful that would have been. We know they already developed a bioweapon to be used against the Changelings. Why not a bioweapon to be used against the Vorta? Take away the Jem'Hadar's entire command structure. The Jem'Hadar wouldn't be able to run the Dominion. They'd tear it apart. They'd tear each other apart. They needed the Vorta and Changelings, or hell, even use it as a weapon against the Jem'Hadar. Find a way to attack them. Find a way to destabilize their addiction to Ketracel White. Whatever. It was just a side thought I've had a few times when watching the episode. It just seemed, I can imagine that there would be a bonkers scientist like this coming up with crazy theories. Fine. Builds a immortality device. I can see it. But on the other hand, we know how underhanded Section 31 can be. We know how devious they can be. And they know they can play on people's fears and their desires quite readily. Because why wouldn't they? Of course they would, if it was something that could be exploited. This may have been one of several plans they put in motion to try and gather this information, and this just happens to be the one that worked. certainly the Dominion took an interest. I mean, he got quarters right underneath those of Weyoun when he was aboard the station. That seems a little odd. You'd think you'd keep everyone away from the Dominion embassy. You wouldn't want anyone near them for their own safety, if nothing else. But they put this guy, a crazy scientist, right underneath him. Seems a little coincidental to me. But I'm probably just spitballing a stupid theory that I came up with. And it seems it sort of fits the lore. It does fit. They would do this. They, after all, did use Dr. Bashir to go undercover to observe a Romulan to gather some medical data. Now, there was a bigger plan there, but the actual plan, that's what they did, is in keeping with my theory about what this guy might have been doing. So, there we go. Now, basically, the guy was nuts, the device probably didn't work, and he might have been a Section 31 plant. What do you guys think? Was he just a bonkers scientist, or was he maybe up to something a little bit more nefarious, and maybe something that was a bit more useful to the Federation than a sarcophagus ripoff from Stargate? Let me know in the comments below. And like, share, subscribe if I didn't already say that. Bye bye.